Hey, last week I told you that I was going to be kind of turning a corner with these videos. If you missed that, you can go back and check it out. And I shared that oftentimes our best message comes out of our mess. And then I told you a little bit about my mess. This week, I think it's a pretty safe bet to say the world is in a mess. I've done a lot of thinking and processing. In fact, I'm still in the middle of it. But something really hit me last night, and that's what I want to talk about today, about Do You Hurt Enough? Before I go there, though, I want to give you a little bit of context. In 2007, I moved here from Chicago, left my home where I'd raised my kids for 20 years, quit my job, uh, left my friends, my church, my doctor and dentist, my grocery store, all the things that were comfortable and familiar. And when I got over here, I realized, okay, wow, that was a lot of change. Change is funny. We're quick to say, oh yes, we should all embrace change. And then we want to go, yeah, but you go first. And when I looked at all those changes that happened in my life, I realized pain was the catalyst for the majority of those. Not something that I would have signed up for, and I don't know that I would have even ever made all those changes that I did had I not experienced the pain. What I've learned in my journey is that there are really only 3 times people change. One is when you hurt enough that you have to. The second is when you learn enough that you want to. And then the third is when you receive enough that you're able to. One of the things that happened after I got over here in 2000, I guess it would have been the next summer, 2008, is I found out about the Global Leadership Summit. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to go to that. That was a change. What I didn't know at the time was that that was going to set me on this path of growth that would eventually lead to me becoming a member of the John Maxwell team and becoming completely immersed in this idea of the importance and the power of personal growth. The thing about once I started focusing on my growth was I realized it wasn't just about me. I mean, yes, it definitely changed me and made me better and allowed me to do some incredible things. I've been able to train leaders in Costa Rica and speak on stages in front of thousands of people, and I wrote a book. But so much more than any of that, the change has been about what's happened on the inside of me. And that inside, that becoming, is what made me realize that, because I've grown and changed, I've got a lot more to offer, to ways to add value to help other people. And it's really what's created my passion, to want to help other professional Christian women over the age of 40 who are navigating some kind of life transition step into the power of their own personal growth. Because I know I've experienced what that can be like and what that can do for people. And that's really why I want to create this group that I mentioned last week. It's going to be a membership community. Don't even know what I'm going to call it yet. But really the idea behind it is that it would help provide a place where women can feel listened to and encouraged and celebrated as they're taking those steps to grow. Now, what I also know about this whole growth process is we can be really quick to sabotage ourselves because we have these thoughts that keep us stuck. Things like, I don't really know how to do that. What does growth look like? Or there's just no time. I'm so busy. I don't have time for me. Or, oh, what if I make mistakes and I feel awkward and I don't want to be that vulnerable in front of people? All those reasons. That's why I want to have this group to help work through what that feels like so that you can get to the other side, that you can learn to embrace that it's a process and then start to actually experience the progress that happens. I talked a little bit about this last week, and there's on my website, amybarge.com, homepage, scroll to the bottom, there's a little button that says subscribe. And if you click right there, it'll ask you for your name and your email address so that I can send you a document that describes 8 of these really common, I call them blind spot gaps, that keep us stuck and not growing. A lot of times they're things we're not even really aware of. And then it gives you a little way that you can deal with that. So I'd love for you to check that out. Now, I realize this may not be for everybody. It may not be for you, but it might be for somebody you know. So if that's the case, I encourage you to share this with them. All right, all that said, here's what happened last night. So I was scrolling along around trying to find something to listen to. I've been very intentional this week about who I'm listening to and what I'm listening to, because I think it's really important that we pay attention and we're careful about who we're choosing to listen to. And I came across a video by this comedian, Michael Jr. Now, Michael Jr. is someone that I first found out about when I was attending the Global Leadership Summit many years ago. He is a comedian and he's hilarious. I really can't even say his name without smiling. And what I love about his comedy is that he always has this way of telling a powerful story in the midst of the humor. And so when I saw last night he had this video, I thought, I want to see what he has to say. Now, I will tell you, his video is it's not humorous, but it is powerful. And it's called, I wrote it down here, A Personal Encounter with the Police. I encourage you to listen to it, because what he said in that really struck me. He said, he talked about the power of giving in order to be a part of the healing process. He says it much better than I did, so go listen to him. Michael Jr., A Personal Encounter with the Police. What it made me realize was the truth of those 3 things that I just said a minute ago. There's really only 3 times we change. When we hurt enough that we have to, we learn enough that we want to, and we receive enough that we're able to. And it also made me realize another inescapable truth about change, and that is, I can only change me, and you can only change you. That is a privilege and a responsibility that we all have to make sure we're doing what we need to be doing to change ourselves on the inside. Somebody else that I listened to, heard him just yesterday, Dr. Tony Evans, and I've listened to this man for years. He's very wise. And I was thinking about how change can be hard, especially when you're trying to do it by yourself. And he addressed that exact topic. And something he said really stood out to me. He said reconciliation is about service, not seminars. And he just encouraged people to find other people that aren't just like you and work together to serve somebody else who isn't just like you. I don't know what that's going to look like for me exactly, but I'm going to figure it out. Because the hurt is enough that I have to. And I also know that I want to be a part of giving something of myself so that I can help to heal the pain. That's my perspective this Friday. I'm Amy Barge. Live and large.